I'm working on a altered book layout that is going to have 4 round niches in one side of it to hold different herbs. So what I've done is I've split my page into 4 relatively equal sections and drew lines using an L square so that everything was straight across. And I'll probably measure that again before I actually start to work on the art on the page. But I'm just trying to get the niches laid out right now. So I have my 4 sections, and I'm going to use this punch. So I punched a piece and sort of drew a line where I wanted the edge of my circles to be. And now I'm sort of just eyeballing this for placement and drawing a circle so that my circles will be relatively in a straight line and equally spaced. Now I'm going to take a couple pages and slide this punch in, and I'm using it upside down so that I can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to line it up and punch my holes. Now I'm going to use this to draw circles on the next few pages. And do the same thing. I'm taking plenty of time lining these up because I want them to be circles that go all the way through. But if it gets a little bit off, it's not a big deal. Sometimes you can make some really interesting niches by not lining your punches up exactly, especially if you use shapes like stars or squares. You can tilt them slightly and get a more interesting interior shape. Or if you're really creative, you can swirl them, get kind of a swirly effect. It takes a little practice though. But circles are really easy to do because they're the same no matter how your punch goes in there. So they're really easy to line up. So I'm just going to keep doing this, drawing circles and then punching holes until I work my way down to the bookmark. So I have 4 holes here, and that's going to work for the set of pages I'm going to do here. But what happens when I turn the page? I'm also going to do a second layout, and I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I have niches on already set up on this side, and do 2 more that I can use for the work that I'm going to do on this page. So, and I'm not really going to measure these. I'm just going to slide my, actually I'm going to start from this side. And I'm just going to slide my punch in. And I need to hold the pages up like this because otherwise I can't get it all the way in. And I'm just going to do this. And this. And those are going to be the niches on the other side. So I'm going to do the same thing with these 2 new holes. I'm just going to draw holes and punch all the way through. And then I'll come back and show you what happens next. So here are my 6 holes, 4 for one layout and 2 for the other. And the next thing that has to happen is gluing. So I'm going to do two-part gluing for this. The first part is I'm going to glue all the pages together, which is something that I don't usually do when I'm doing a full page niche because it just takes too much time. I'm going to slide a little piece of wax paper underneath so that I don't end up gluing my niche pages to the pages behind them. And I'm just going to lay in some glue stick. I'm going to pay attention to the page edges, and I'm going to do this really gently so that I don't tear the bridges between the niches. So you want to keep all of this stuff intact. So, and you don't need to watch me do this whole thing. It's just basically gluing all around the edges and in between, and then laying the next page on top. This has been drying for about an hour, and it's pretty solid now. So I'm going to do the second part of the gluing, which is with some tacky glue. And I'm going to seal off the interior of all these circles and also glue the outside pages to make it nice and strong and stable. And what I've done is I've covered both pages that are on the outside of this niche with plastic wrap so that the glue won't stick. So I'm just going to apply kind of a line of glue on the inside of these circles. And then with my finger, I'm going to smear the glue and press it in. And I'm doing this partly because I'm going to fill these niches with herbs. And if I don't seal the pages closed real well, the herbs will escape and fall out of the niches, and that would be bad. So I want all my herbs to stay where I put them. So I'm just going to glue these shut. And it's basically the same process for everything. You just apply a line of glue and then smear it with your finger. And this niche right here, my circles didn't get punched entirely straight, so you can see that you can see all the layers of pages on this side and none on this side because it kind of angles. No big deal. It still looks like a circle and it will be fine. It's just not entirely straight, and there's always one that does that. So to do the outside page edge, I do the same thing, just draw a line of glue. And sometimes it's easier to do this on the outside page edges. Just draw a line of glue on your finger and then draw the glue along the edge and press it in. And then clean up any extra glue that you have. And I'm getting a little glue on the front edge, the front face of the page. Again, no big deal, because I'm going to cover this with paint, and another set of pages is going to go over the top because I have to sandwich some net onto it to keep the herbs in place. So it's not a big deal if a little bit of glue gets along the front edge. But you don't want a lot of glue to get along the front or the back because it leaves lumps. So, you know, smooth it out as best you can. So that's basically the process here. Apply glue, mash it in with your finger, keep going. So here's my finished page block. It's been drying for a couple of hours, and all the glue is nice and dry. and it turns as a single unit. It doesn't ripple or bend or anything. It's nice and stiff, and that's because I took the time to glue the individual pages together all the way across before I did the gluing on the outer edges and the interiors. So that way this operates as a solid thing rather than individual pages that are trying to roll, which is what causes pieces like this to kind of ripple and bend if they're not constructed properly. So now I want to create a backing for this row of niches, and I want it to have book pages behind it, but maybe not the same book pages as this, although it doesn't really make a difference because I'm going to be filling them with different herbs. But I do feel like it needs a little bit of support behind it, and I'm not putting anything particularly heavy back here, but I just feel like I might stick my finger through just 2 book pages, and that would be bad because then I would leak herbs all over the place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2 pages that I want to use, and I'm going to sandwich a piece of heavy cardstock in between along the edge here to create a more supported backing. I'm just going to do that with glue stick. The other thing I need to do is do a cover. I'm going to put some net over the top of my herbs to hold them in place, and I want something to cover that over to make a nice, neat presentation. So I need to add the support for these 2 right here and right here. And this is the same support that I put along the edge for that line of niches. Just a little cardstock to help give it some structural integrity. And if you're only doing 1 set of niches, you don't need to do all this extra. You can just do the 1 piece that I did at the beginning. And now I'm going to glue this whole page to sandwich that cardstock in and create what will be the cover And very often when I'm doing a page, I'll do what I just did, which is close the book to get the page to lay down flat, and then open it up and press it with my hands. So now I want to do 4 holes. I really sort of need to let this glue dry before I punch, otherwise I'll end up with glue on my punch, and that's kind of a mess to clean up. And on this one, I'm going to do this. And that one I think I can do right now. So when I turn it, it'll be like this. 2 niches over here, 4 over here. And I'm a little off on my cut right here. But I feel like once I get this all put together and filled and painted and everything, it's going to be great. So I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm going to close this book up and let all the glue dry and let it sit for a few minutes and weight it down with a great big book.